And now, let's talk about the use of a documentary style in First Man. He really wanted to feel the cinema verite, again, inspired by NASA archival footage and also old documentaries from the 1960s and 70s. So for scenes like this press conference and other scenes in Mission Control, Damien and his crew would set up the scene like it was a long event, and they would follow the characters with often 2 cameras, sometimes 3 cameras, and they would cover it like an event, and the cameraman would cover it like a documentary. So there were all sorts of you'll see camera messy pans and moves, and these were things that that I saw that I thought would be, I find them kind of beautiful. I love that type of filming and those type of little anomalies. When our cinematographer saw a rough cut of the movie, he talked to me about how he was surprised at seeing some of those things. And it's because when he was filming this way, he was not trying to merely replicate the documentary style. He was doing things, racking focus, moving the camera as a means to an end. He was functioning as if he was filming a real documentary. But when I saw the material, I thought there was a way that this messiness would not only help us in terms of the feel, it would feel more like a documentary, it would feel a little rougher, but also that some of these camera anomalies or some of the messiness could be used for impact, for effect. In the case of the press conference, when they come back from outer space, we wanted the scene to feel like an assault. It's supposed to feel like an attack on Neil Armstrong, because the idea with the scene is that his judgment is being second-guessed. He's being reviewed. And what we have is a press conference where we see that Neil feels out of place, he feels uncomfortable, and then we intercut that with NASA basically giving him a report card, grading him, and basically questioning him. And so it was important to feel the discomfort of this character. And we get to linger on this face, linger on this performance, which from Ryan Gosling was very strong, but also we wanted to support that performance, support that emotion by showing you why he feels that way. And part of the why is showing that he feels attacked. You need to feel that, and you have to feel that cinematically.
Overshadowed by the malfunction.
So you feel that with every little sound effect of the flash bulbs. It's important to really focus on those and hear those, but then also to the outbursts of the reporters. It was important to really play that up. Not only play up the sound of it, but pictorially play it up visually.
I think we should focus on the progress resulting from the mission.
Again, details like inserts, that's punctuation, that's helpful.
Malfunction. Neil, what was the decision to separate the Aegina?
It's a sketch, it's an impression. That's the important thing to get from this scene. Specifically, it doesn't matter who's asking the question or who's pointing or who's choosing. It's just an impression that you want to give. And you anchor it to the character. You always anchor it to the face.
There was no way to know this, right?
As an editor, looks are your friend. The eyes are your friend. When someone's looking one way and then you see him change, that's a helpful tool.
Was causing that. We could have isolated each of Gemini's thrusters if we'd had that capability in the moment.
Again, Neil Armstrong says something. He tries to explain himself. He's instantly attacked. He's cinematically attacked.
Did you have any feeling of...
And this, every time we wanted to come back, it was important This is where you want it to be. You don't want it to just be, it doesn't necessarily, in this case, have to be just one outburst. We want to play it up. So in some cases, when we cut back to it, we used pieces. There's not just one shot of someone raising a hand. We cut into something else. We double cut it.
Did you have any feeling of anxiety after the failure of the thrusters?
And when I'm looking through this cinema verite, this documentary footage, when I'm first getting this footage and I'm looking for it, to me, this is some of the most exciting footage to edit and to look at, to go through. It's also some of the hardest because it doesn't seem to be easily categorized and organized. As editors, we're very compulsive and we like to say, okay, well, here's all the close-ups. Okay, now here's all the wide shots. It's a way that we create systems to help us do our jobs, to help find order in chaos. The verite footage is very hard to manage that way. It's very hard for the assistants to organize it. But it's very exciting to go through. So when I'm going through making selects of this type of footage, I am always trying to be careful to make an in point and an out point in my selects. I try to be very brutal with what I set aside as my select. I try to say, you know what, I only like this part of the shot, which is a snap zoom. That looks great. I don't know how I'm going to use it, but I like it, and I'm going to set it aside. And I do that for all of the footage, just whatever little pieces that I think might come in handy.
Did you seem to realize or feel the...
This is pushing the envelope cinematically a little bit because it's very cutty. The little pan, cut to another pan, and cut to another pan. It's baroque. It's overt. It's over the top. In a different context, in a different movie, you would never want to be so presentational or showy in that way. It's the opposite of invisible. But in this context, you want this. Now, that assault is over. Now we can take our time a little bit. We can take our time and create more discomfort by just passing the time with little pieces. The pages turn, just to know that he's sitting here waiting, and that's uncomfortable for him. And so you want to take at least a little bit more time with this. You don't want to just come in with his line, with his boss coming in and saying, okay, boys, we're done. You want to come in with, spend a little bit of real estate, a little bit of time to set up that this is notable, what is about to be said. And again, using the inserts as a punctuation. That ends the scene. Click, click.